now I want to talk about Bet Saracen.
Yeah.
That is the smartest thing y'all done down there. I mean, you're getting money. You don't even have to be there to make money. Go ahead.
It's a scary business.
Why?
It's extremely volatile.
Betting is on the. Oh, you mean sports because you never know who's going to win.
Mm-hmm.
Well, don't they use algorithms for that to figure it out?
No, we do. But I'll tell you, there's all kinds of things. Who thought Georgia Tech would go all those overtimes with Georgia? Right? No AI model would ever put that out. Right? And so that's what I mean by volatility.
Boy.
So let's talk for a second about what volatility means.
Okay.
So in a slot machine environment, we know that we are going to traditionally keep about 7% of the money that goes through the machines. That doesn't necessarily mean you, but it means enough play over the course of a month. And there'll be in a month, $150 million go through those slot machines.
Well, and you can program them the way you want them to be.
And they're programmed.
You can't program football.
Correct. In sports, we can lose a lot of money very quickly. No single bettor has more at risk than we do because we're party to every single wager. So we have a lady that regularly bets $200,000 on NFL games. That's a huge bet, right?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But,
Damn.
By the way,
she came to play.
But let me get this in here. The average wager at Saracen is $29. So I'm very proud of that. That the average wager is skin in the game. That people are not betting crazy. Yeah. But there are people of means who do bet large bets. So somebody betting $200,000 a game, you're like, wow, that's a big bet. Well, we have a $200,000 bet there too, really. Because if it loses, we have to pay it.
Right.
Plus all the other bets that are out there.
Yeah.
So no one stands to win or lose more than the sports book. I don't sweat the money because
do you think they're crooked? Do you think some of those games are crooked?
No, I don't. In fact, I have just the opposite opinion. And I did an interview with a group called gambling.com on this. I think that betting actually, and people are going to go, this guy's full of it. I think betting actually brings integrity to what's going on in the field. And here's why. Because when there's that much money involved, there are that many people watching. In other words, if you have a publicly traded stock on the New York Stock Exchange or on the NASDAQ, there is so much scrutiny on what's going on because there are people betting both sides. Some think it'll go up, some think it'll go down. You have regulators, you have visibility. But if you buy a penny stock that's traded on some obscure foreign exchange, that's where all the shady stuff happens, right? Where there's no visibility. Sunlight is an incredible disinfectant.
That's true. I hadn't thought of it like that.
I'm not saying there's no scrutiny without casinos, but you're going to rely on the leagues and the conferences and the regulators to do it. But I can tell you what we do to monitor this because there's so much money involved is deep.
Do you have a ceiling of any kind?
That's a trick question.
It is?
Well, for an average player, yes. And what I mean by that is a guy signs up for Bet Saracen. We don't know him. He wants to bet $1 million on a game. Yeah. We're not going to take that. There's something strange, right? Mm-hmm. But if you're a known player with a history with us, absolutely. And that's the same on the floor, right? I mean, we have posted limits.
Oh, sure.
But it just depends. I mean, I have a friend who will bet upwards of $100,000 on Razorback team wins, games, but he's got a long track record of wagering with us, right? But some guy on the street, you worry. And where you really worry, and you ask me if it's rigged, this is part of the reason that I also am confident it's not rigged. We subscribe to every service there is that monitors this. And the best one used to be called US Integrity. Now they're, I think, called IC360. But they monitor wagering all across the globe. And anytime something strange happens, it pops up on their radar and we get an alert. And so where you see those things happen, oftentimes are in very obscure sports, like Pakistani boxing. Or there's one instance that I can point to. You had the Iowa thing and the Alabama thing in baseball, which never really was settled out exactly what happened. In one instance, there was a coach. There may have been some information, but the most vivid example you've seen of fixing was an NBA player. And he was kind of a low-level NBA player who had come up from the minors. And he was involved in a gambling rigging incident about a year ago. You know who caught it? The sports books. Because we're watching, right?
Is that the Asian guy that had his best friend doing it?
No, that was a baseball player.
Oh.
It was Ohtani. No, this was a guy, I think he played for the Raptors. But the books caught him. Because we're party to it, right?
Yeah.
It's like the bank catches fraud. We're the same way.
If you enjoyed this video, be sure to check out the full interview on the right side of the screen.
Want to see more of Kerry's interviews? Subscribe to our YouTube channel to stay up to date with all of her latest shows. And as always, thank you for watching.